Hey, shalom, shalom, shalom. I want to give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Yahweh Kakadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone. Peace, many blessings, and salutations unto the hopeful elect, the house of David, the Bayaf Dawadah, for whom these epistles are written for in these last days. Shalom to the elect. So, as we're getting ready to come to an end of the Feast of Unleavened Bread, just coming out of this Passat, heavy revelation, judgment, all these things are increasing. And the Lord is showing us more signs. And through the spirit and power of Yahweh Ba'Shem Shai, we're going to continue to endure. Those who are receiving these messages and understanding the prophecies are upon us. And this is not just something we just continue to chant. This is something we truly believe. Those of us who truly believe in this, who absolutely see on the horizon things are getting worse and worse and worse. But as things are getting worse for this current society, it's going to get better for us. It's little things that you don't notice on your day-to-day, but you should just, because the Lord is showing you, little by little, but in the bigger and grand picture, you're seeing things are starting to manifest. For example, let's say women, right? Women who let's just say they're financially well off, right? Millionaires, billionaires. They're starting to look at men who, let's just say they're not on their level, but they're starting to consider that this is a man. So by nature, he's very important. So I'm going to overlook the fact that he ain't a millionaire or a billionaire, and I'm going to consider him for protection. And we're coming into that time, we're coming into that time where nature is going to take over, okay? It's not going to be your social status. It's going to be who you are truly when the lights are off, when the TV's off, when the makeup's not done. We're going to find out who you truly are concerning the women. Now, this message ain't just concerning women. It's you men too. Are you for real about this truth, or are you about this world? Are you doing interviews on platforms trying to make yourself more appealing to the masses instead of worrying about the souls of the elect? We're going to find out, okay? And as these prophecies to continue to pass and continue to churn on, all right, all those who are faking the funk will be exposed. You bet your ass. You will be exposed. That's for me. That's for everybody. Okay? Don't matter who you are. And I start with myself first. We have to hold ourselves accountable. All right? But in that same sense, we're not gonna be perfect beings because we're not Yahushua, but at the same time, we are to walk in the spirit. All right. So with that being said, let's get this article, because again, it's the spirit that comes behind these articles. You weirdos and bug outs that have a problem with men bringing out the articles and explaining them through the scriptures. Okay. Breaking the scriptures down so you understand what times you're in. Okay. You got a problem with this? Turn the goddamn video off. Well, not goddamn, but turn the video off. Okay. Go on about your business. I'm sure there's some Klay Thompson highlights that are out there. Okay, for you to go and watch him put up 62 points, okay, or 37 points in a quarter, okay? Because obviously prophecy is not that important to you, all right? But we're worried about the souls of the elect, man. We're not here for the glitz and the glamour, man. Me personally, man, I would rather stay in the shadows. I don't want to be known like that. But I understand this job comes with having to put yourself out there. That's just what it is. And I respect it because the Heavenly Father, He put a spirit on me where I've always shied away from it. There's many opportunities I've had, me just personal testimony. I've had many opportunities, all right, where it be trying to be a comedian, trying to be on the radio. I never really wanted to be in the spotlight like that. I had a little brother that actually was signed by a major rapper, okay, years ago, okay, in Atlanta, okay. He wanted me to be his road manager. These are things that happen okay, that the Lord manipulated, but then all of a sudden took the opportunity away because he saw something better. He saw, and I appreciate that, Lord. Hey, call all y'all about Shemal Shot. Took me out of that stuff, man. Okay? So the people that are faking it, let them fake it. Because things like this, as you see on this screen right here, from RT News, this is going to be that squeeze. It's already been a squeeze. Oh my goodness. But people are almost out of breath. But the elect, they will persevere on. This is from RT News. It says, economists warn of U.S. financial crisis. Now, we do videos like this all the time. This is not going to be a long video. I just wanted to put that disclaimer out there. You know, because we got people that think that they're going to, nah. The spirit always wins in the end. I don't care who you are. All right. It says an analyst known for accurately predicting past crises has claimed that the recent spate of failures portends trouble. It says Stephanie Pomboy, the U.S. economist known for her predictions of America's early 2000s housing bubble and the 2008 global financial collapse, has sounded the alarm on a recent spate of bank and cryptocurrency failures that could be just the beginning of another cascading crisis. What we're facing right now is a real serious. Pomboy, founder of the economic research firm Macro Mavens, said on Friday in a Fox News interview, we are on the brink of a 2008 style financial crisis. So for all you brothers and sisters that are not old enough to remember, and even some of those of you who are old enough, let's just say Jeezy had an album called Recession. That time was terrible. Jobs was hard. Unemployment was high. Okay. People were losing out here. Were losing. Abandoned homes everywhere. I'm talking brand new homes. People were on the streets. It was real. Okay. And it fostered up an environment where people wanted hope and change. Okay, they wanted to see the Obamas, and guess what? The Obamas came with more to squeeze. They came with that Obama bill in 2009, page 1000, okay, 1001, yeah, where they could put a chip inside you. So we're getting ready to come into that same squeeze, y'all. We're coming in that same squeeze. If you think this is a joke, continue to watch. Continue to watch. This is real life, y'all. This is life and death. And it should be that you treat it as such. But we understand that those who are in the world, they're going to continue to just look at messages and poo-poo it and whatever. You guys keep saying this, okay? But, hey, man, the scriptures are going to march on. It says, Pomboy made her assessment in the wake of Friday's shutdown of Silicon Valley Bank. It says by federal regulators, the second largest failure in U.S. banking history, which was back in 2008 as well. Okay. Look at this movie called Too Big to Fail from HBO. It's a good movie. It says the second largest failure in U.S. banking history. SVB's collapse came on the heel of weeks closure of cryptocurrency lender Silvergate Bank, as well as the bankruptcies last fall of crypto firms FTX, BlockFi, and Three Arrows Capital. President Joe Biden's administration has responded to trying to allay concerns over the border crisis. Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen issued a statement on Friday declaring that the U.S. banking system remains resilient and regulators have effective tools to address this type of event. We'll see about that. It says Pomboy was unconvinced, mocking Yellen for an absolutely insane focus on diversity, equality, and inclusion at a time when the rapid increases of interest rates by the U.S. Federal Reserve are exposing the fragility of the nation's debt-laden financial system, which this whole system is based upon your debt. That's what the dollar was created for. It's nothing but a debt note. This is what you call fractional reserve banking. This is a wicked system. Okay? But why are you surprised? Because it's the goddamn devil. Fractional reserve banking is wicked. Okay? It's very, very wicked. It's not dealing, all right, in honesty. Okay? It's using deception. Okay? And you're keeping the people in debt, knowing this, okay, knowing that they'll never be able to get out of that debt ever in their whole life. Not even their children will get out of that debt. It's wicked, all right? That's why it's going to be destroyed. It says, look, you don't raise rates in a record fashion on the economy, toting record leverage at maximum speculation and expect no consequences, the economist said. This was clearly going to happen, and now we're seeing the weak links in the chain break. It says the areas where speculation was most rampant and most egregious are clearly coming down. She added that years of excessive risk-taking are coming back to bite them hard, and predicted that the situation will devolve very rapidly. Quite a few scriptures coming to your mind, right? It should. Again, prophecy waits for no man. Okay? Prophecy waits for no man. If you ain't in the spirit, this should have passed you right by. Okay? Republican president candidate Vivek Ramaswamy, okay, argued that just as the 2008 financial crisis, which stemmed partly from the federal government's push to ease credit standards in low-income communities, that is, if you don't know what that means, hold on one second. That's code for black people, black and brown people. When they use, you got to understand how so-called white people, they use code words, right? They use urban, low-income communities. They're trying to tell you black people. So whether you so-called blacks understand this or so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans understand this, they blame the 2008 crisis on you. Did you know that? Did you know that? They blame that entire crisis on you. And they're doing it in this article again, but they're doing it very covertly. See, you understand, that's why the scriptures are so point on, so spot on. He uses words, all right, in trickery. Okay, matter of fact, let's get that real quick. He's very deceptive with his words. You got to be able to catch him. Okay? You got to be able to understand the devil and the devil speak. Okay? His deceptive ways, the way he uses words, the craft he uses, the way he moves them around. Okay? Because the Lord put the spirit on this devil to be very deceptive, man. All right? This is Psalm 64. Psalm 64 and 2. It says, hide me from the secret counsel of the wicked, from the insurrection of the workers of iniquity, who wet their tongue, this is them wetting their tongue, who wet their tongue like a sword, and bend their bows to shoot the arrows, even bitter words. Low-income communities, urban, okay? There's a few other words that once I hear them, I already know exactly who they're talking about. Okay. POCs. Okay. Latinx. These are all bitter words. They are bitter words, y'all. Okay. It says that they may shoot in secret at the perfect. Suddenly do they shoot at him and fear not. So they can write an article like this, put it out there. Okay. Expect you Negroes mainly. Okay. Cause you're the lead tribe. They expect you Negroes to just gloss right on over that. But the prophets of Yahweh Shema Shah see it for what it is, and we're going to call it for what it is. Honesty is what we speak on, okay? we're going to take your new speak and we're going to speak it in a way where people understand exactly what we're saying. And we're going to expose you in the meantime. All right. It says they encourage themselves in an evil matter. They commune of laying snares privately. This is them doing that. It says they say, who shall see them? The answer is the prophets of Yahweh Shema Shai. By what? The spirit of Yahweh Shema Shai. All right. So let's go back to the article. Because these devils, they think, Salakia, they think that they're going to get away with what they're doing. They're not. That's the answer to that. They're not. It says, low-income communities. SVB's failure may have been fueled by politics. In SVB's case, a focus on so-called sustainable finance, or ESG, may have contributed to bad lending decisions, which, what does that mean? And he put it in quotation marks. Bad lending decisions. That means we should have never gave you niggas some money. Think about that quote from Rick James and Dave Chappelle playing Rick James in the Chappelle show. Okay, shouldn't have never gave you niggas some money, right? That's what the banks are saying. All right, it says, and listen how they say it now. He said, when we don't learn lessons, history repeats itself. He's blaming you niggas. But you can't see it because you can't see prophecy. And you don't see it because you don't see your enemy spitting in your face constantly. Your enemy is spitting in your face in this article. That's why we go into articles like this. So we can tell you the plain truth of what he's telling you to your face. Can you get it? Do you understand what he's saying? He's giving case for getting you off the earth. He can't just kill you. He needs to build a case. You know why? Because the Lord put the spirit on him to do that. He's building his case to kill Jacob. Okay? This is what this article and many articles like this is about. He's building his case. But as good lawyers do, we're tearing his case apart. We're ripping it at the seams. We're exposing all the holes. And we're showing him that he's the real culprit. Right? It says billionaire hedge fund manager Bill Ackman warned that SVB's failure may trigger runs on other troubled banks, causing a 2008 and that's another thing. Okay? 2008. Tie all that together, right? Let's tie it all together. 2008. What do we know 2008 for? Obama, right? Well, you got to understand Esau. You got to understand your enemy. He blames you for the housing crisis bubble. He blames you, although it was his banks that borrowed and took all those risks with all those people's money. Okay, if you have a 501k or a 401k, okay, that shit was took in that 2008. They took people's 401ks, man. You hear me? It was a recession for real. And guess what? In the end, they blamed you niggas for it. So-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans. Huh? Yes, he did that. Yes, he did. Let's go back to Psalm 64. Psalm 64 and 5. They encourage themselves in an evil matter. They commune of laying snares privately. They say, who shall see them? They search out iniquities. They accomplish a diligent search, both the inward thought of every one of them and the heart is deep. And they're using every means of destructive words to try to expose you so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans. This is Psalms 10 and 1 or 10 and 2. The wicked in his pride doth persecute the poor. Let them be taken in the devices that they have imagined. They're looking to try to destroy Jacob, but they're building a case to do it first. Okay, verse 3, for the wicked boasteth in his heart's desire, and blusheth the covetous, whom the Lord Yahweh abhorreth. It says, the wicked through his pride of his countenance will not seek after the Most High. It says, the Most High is not in all his thoughts. It says, his ways are always grievous, and thy judgments are all far above out of his sight. As for all his enemies, he's puffeth at them. And he's puffing at you, so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans. He's making a mockery I see through it. I know who my enemy is. Okay? Okay? I know who my enemy is, and I proceed accordingly. I don't play footsie with the snake. Okay? I let the snake know that I know that you're a snake. Okay? And I'm going to proceed cautiously. I'm going to read through all your bullshit words, all your innuendos. I'm going to read through all of them, and then I'm going to call you the fuck out as I'm doing it. Okay? It says, he says, he said in his heart, I shall not be moved, for I shall never be in adversity. That is the pride of the devil. And you got to understand, the devil is a very prideful being. Okay? So he actually thinks this. He thinks of himself as more than what he is. And if you're a smart human being, or if you're a smart Jake, you play that against him. Knowing, if you know your enemy, you know how to play him, right? If you know your enemy and you know how he moves and you know how he thinks, what do? You placate it. That's why the scripture says, all right, when I agree with thy adversary quickly. See, Jake could take that as, oh, you niggas are being weak. No, nigga, I'm being strategic. I'm being strategic. I'm being smart. I'm moving with a purpose. I'm not moving just because I can move. I'm going to move and make sure that I do the right thing so that I, being Jacob, can supplant his ass. And that's what we're doing right now. Through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashim Shai. Right? All right, continuing. Now, if you know that the devil thinks like this, then what you going to do? You're going to proceed cautiously. Okay? Psalms 10 and 6, it says, he hath said in his heart, I shall not be moved, for I shall never be in adversity. Knowing that the devil, matter of fact, let's read that 7. Verse 7, his mouth is full of cursing and deceit and fraud. You know the guy is a liar. Hey, look, I'm going to keep it real, dog. I don't mainly date so-called white women, but I date them. Okay, well, I fuck with them, I don't put myself out there like that, but I'm keeping it real. I deal with the Edomites, or what I might perceive as an Edomite, right? Or, I deal with all types of women, even a Negro woman, okay? But, as of lately, I've been getting chose on by the Edomite woman. And here's the one thing I know about the Edomite woman. She is a complete whore, and she's a liar. I know these two things. So when they tell me, oh, no, bitch, I know better. I know better. I know my enemy, okay? It's just unfortunate that I'm in hell. All right, and you have a coochie hole, okay? And so sometimes I need to get it wet. So it is what it is. But at the same time, respectfully, okay, I understand that she deals with emotions and she's the devil. Those are two bad combinations, okay? So I know to proceed cautiously, okay? That just goes with any woman anyway. But this lesson wasn't about that. It's about the fact that they're blaming you, Jakes, for what's about to happen. But see, the Lord is going to get ready to rip this whole system apart, and he's going to use the financial means, okay, you devils, this debt, this fractional reserve banking that you use, which is wicked as fuck. He's going to destroy that shit and watch you squirm. And as the U.S. economy falls, the entire system is going to collapse. That's what we're banking on, and we know that's going to happen. Okay? Psalms 10 and 7, it says, his mouth is full of cursing and deceit and fraud, and under his tongue is mischief and vanity. Right. So if you know this about the devil, you know that he's going to come with a bunch of bullshit. Let's go to Psalms 16 and 18. The Lord said he coming with some sorrow, all right, for you Jakes that ain't paying attention, okay? All right, it says, 2nd Ezra 16 and 18, it says, the beginning of sorrows and great mournings, the beginning of famine and great death, the beginning of wars, and the power shall stand in fear, the beginning of evils, and what shall I do when these evils shall come? Behold, famine and plague, tribulation, and anguish are sent as scourges for amendment. And what is amendment? Change. But Jake ain't gonna change. Jake ain't trying to change. Jake is like, I'm comfortable in hell. Verse 20, it says, but for all these things, they shall not turn from their wickedness, talking about you Jakes, nor be always mindful of the scourges. This devil is coming with straight scourges. He's using articles like this to scourge you. You don't see it, though, because you ain't watching. You ain't paying attention. And the Lord got you fattened like a heifer, and he's about to get ready to slaughter. Verse 21, it says, behold, victuals shall be so good cheap upon earth, that they should think themselves to be in a good case, and even then shall evils grow upon earth, sword, famine, and great confusion. Verse 22, for many of them that dwell upon the earth shall perish of famine, and the other that escape the hunger shall the sword destroy. Very important to understand these things, okay? Because this devil ain't designed to stop y'all. Okay? Devils like this.
So you're hearing a lot about this crash of Silicon Valley Bank, and I want to explain a dimension of this. I'm not claiming it's the most important dimension, but it is the most underappreciated dimension of this story, right? What you have is a financial institution, a bank, that lends money to other companies that is now failing because depositors are pulling out money because they don't trust the solvency of the bank. We've seen that movie before in the 2008 financial crisis, and we're seeing it again, not necessarily at systemic scale, but in the scale of this one bank in Silicon Valley now. And here's an interesting question to ask, okay? I see this bank proclaiming a lot about diversity, equity, inclusion in environmental, social, and governance factors. I'm looking at my computer screen here at Silicon Valley Bank committing $5 billion to sustainable finance and carbon neutral operations to support a healthier planet. Now, it seems like sustainable finance wasn't all that sustainable, and a healthier planet did not result in a healthier balance sheet for this bank. But here's the question to ask. Were they or were they not using ESG factors when determining the creditworthiness of people who they were lending to? That is a question. I don't know the answer for sure, but I have a funny feeling that if regulators and policymakers use their investigatory power to get to the bottom of this, the answer they're going to find is yes. And what does that mean? It means they were using a non-economic factor, environmental and social factors, to still make a financial decision of who to actually lend to and who not to lend to. Now, interestingly, that's actually tied to a lesson of the 2008 financial crisis, because one of the underappreciated causes of the 2008 financial crisis was the use of non-financial factors to make loans. Back then, it was about driving home ownership in the American economy, and said that, you know what, the government should pass a bunch of policies that allowed people to afford a home, because that was supposed to be what the Bill Clinton vision of the American dream was all about. And what did that do? It created a mortgage bubble that eventually popped, because the people who were borrowing that money to buy a house shouldn't have ever actually had the creditworthiness to borrow that money, but for the social agenda that the government pushed. Well, guess what? Now we have these environmental and new social agendas in the form of diversity, carbon emissions, net zero standards by 2050, whatever it is, that are informing how financial institutions lend. That is not how it's supposed to work, and it's just interesting. I'm shocked that nobody else has yet commented on this, so that's why I felt compelled to just say something about it. It is interesting that one of the biggest bank failures we've seen in modern history is a bank sitting in the middle of Silicon Valley that spouts off and waxes eloquent about its commitment to those ESG factors. So I'm calling on other policymakers, specifically in Congress and in the U.S. Senate, to get to the bottom of that. Was Silicon Valley Bank using ESG factors as part of its credit scoring procedures or not? It is a simple question. Get to the bottom of it, because you know what? I don't believe the media, for all of its supposed intellectual curiosity, is going to be asking this question. Get to the bottom of this, and let's learn the lesson so it doesn't happen again in the future. Don't ignore the issue because it sounds boring. Don't ignore it because you're shouted down. Get to the bottom of it and answer a simple question. Did Silicon Valley Bank, true or false, did they or did they not use environmental and social factors, ESG factors, in scoring the creditworthiness of their borrowers? I'm seeing information that they were making commitments to sustainable finance and carbon neutral operations to, quote unquote, their headline, support a healthier planet. Why weren't they worrying about a healthier balance sheet? And that was just 1 year ago.
What? A healthier planet. What is that tied into? Carbon. What? Is that not the part of the process? Oh, you know, carbon. We gotta reduce carbon. All right. Let's talk about you so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans, man. Understand your enemy. Pay attention. He's telling you in your face.
Stephanie Pomboy is an economist. She founded Macro Mavens, where she is the CEO. She joins us tonight. Stephanie, thanks so much for coming on. So can you just give us your coolest, most detached assessment of what we're seeing? This seems like a big deal, is it?
Well, I mean, I can't believe that you're not allayed by listening to Treasury Secretary Yellen. I mean, clearly she's got the situation in hand. I also am just stunned, Tucker, that you don't believe that diversity, equity, and inclusion are the root of a sound financial system. I mean, come on, where have you been for the last year, Tucker?
It's time for the kids to be quiet, and, let's get some real economists here who aren't just, repeating Atlantic articles. This is insane.
It is absolutely insane. And the layers of insanity, I mean, I can't even believe the videos you showed about the people at SVB, focused on the women.
And let's get this last scripture real quick, because I wanted to make sure we dealt with the overhead. But Esau's system gonna fall, Everything he's trying to do, trying to pull off, is not gonna work. This is James 5:1. Go to now, ye rich men, weep and howl for your miseries that shall come upon you. Your riches are corrupted, and your garments are moth-eaten. Your gold and silver is cankered, and the rust of them shall be a witness against you, and shall eat your flesh as it were fire. Ye have heaped treasure together for the last days. Verse 4, behold, the hire of the laborers who are reaped down by your fields, and the people are starting to revolt against you, which is kept back by fraud. You keeping our checks and not paying us. You're supposed to pay a man by his by the end of the day, man. Before the sun comes down, okay? That ain't how Esau does it. He taxing the shit out you, okay? After 2 weeks, which is kept back by fraud, crieth, and the cries of them which have reaped are entered into the ears of the Lord Yahweh Shema Shai of Sabaoth. Ye have lived in pleasure on the earth, and have been wanton. Ye have nourished your hearts as in the day of slaughter. Ye have condemned and killed the just, and he doth not resist. That's right. So the Lord is plumping you devils up, and now you devils are ready for the fall.
The women's ski vacations and whatnot. It's just nonsense. And you're right. What we're facing right now is really serious. I mean, we are on the brink of a 2008 style financial crisis, and I'm not trying to be hyperbolic. In fact, you and I discussed this at length in our long-form interview several months ago. And at the time, the Fed hadn't even raised rates nearly as high as they have today. And I was saying, look, you don't raise rates in record fashion on an economy toting record leverage at maximum speculation and expect no consequence. I mean, this was clearly going to happen, and now we're seeing the weak links in the chain break. The areas where speculation was most rampant and most egregious are clearly coming down, and they're doing so as they seem to do in all the three-letter acronyms, just like they did in 2008. We're back to the three-letter acronyms, and there'll be a lot more of those. And frankly, I think this is the unintended consequence of the Fed's monetary policy,
yes,
layered with really bad fiscal policy on top of it. But essentially, they've been encouraging people to take reckless risks for years just because you had no alternative. You could get 0% sitting in a T-bill or having your money in the bank, or you could run out and you could speculate. And that's what they've done, and that's all coming back to bite them hard. And we've got some major consequences coming at us. And I think it's going to devolve very rapidly because of all the leverage that's been built up here.
That's exactly right. If you treated your children like the Fed has treated Wall Street, your kids would all be in rehab. And what they've done is bad, no doubt. Stephanie Pomboy, I appreciate your
Hey, I pray that this lesson was edifying. I want to give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Al-Shai, Bahashem, Muhammad Kakadash. Shalom to the elect.